Hello, welcome to the Breakaway Entrepreneur podcast, where we explore the entrepreneur mindset and the characteristics and traits that lead to success. I'm your host, Janet Fish, and in this episode, I talk with multi-published, best-selling author Anthony Camacho. He's known as the Hitman, a nickname he earned not from the gang life he escaped as a teen, but for his ability to turn cold into gold. Anthony is a sales and performance mentor to everyday entrepreneurs as well as Fortune 500 companies. The founder and creator of the Top Producer Factory, Anthony has personally cold called millions of dollars in sales using techniques and strategies he freely shares from the stage. I hope you enjoy our chat. So good afternoon, Anthony. How are you doing today?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great. It's so great to have you on. I'm super excited about it. So I don't know you all that well. I've seen you around in Zoom meetings. Tell us a little bit about you, what you do, what you love to do, both business and personal.
Okay, start with the business first. I love sales. I love selling, and I love training salespeople and sales managers how to write their own paycheck, by increasing their sales performance. So that's what I love to do. I'm the sales guy, and I know people think that sales is a dirty word, but not if you're using sales to help people better their life and help salespeople help their customers more efficiently. So That's what I like to do for fun and get paid in my profession. And personally, I love yoga. I love martial arts. I love reading. I love paddleboarding and hanging out with my family. So I love to be active and doing things, and I do have my cheat meals, here and there.
Well, good for you. So how long have you been an entrepreneur, and how'd you find your way there?
Oh, geez. I've been a commission-based salesperson since I was 22 years old, and right now I'm 39. So what motivated me to do that was having a couple of jobs in my earlier years doing hourly. And I was like, man, this really sucks. I can't really hit my earning potential. So then I started working with some consultants where I got a commission. And then I'm like, hey, this is really good because now I can kind of write my own paycheck. It's got exactly what I preach. And then the next step was having my own business. Mm-hmm. So I've had my own business for 7 years where I get to basically dictate even more what my paycheck gets to be and control what percentage I get and how much I get to keep in comparison to overhead, et cetera, et cetera.
And what do you like most about what you do?
I love that I get to help salespeople. I love that they get to double, triple their income. And when you double your income at the very least, you really get a lifestyle change, and you're able to help your family, and you're able to move up, in the world a little bit more. And I love being able to help individual sales professionals, entrepreneurs, and where I find those people that are Fortune 100 companies, Fortune 500 companies, and then individual entrepreneurs as well. So that's the greatest joy, is seeing people be successful and knowing that I was able to help.
All right. So you train a lot of people in sales. I've been coaching for 15 years. So the sales conversation oftentimes comes up. And I hear the same thing you're talking about. I hear that sometimes sales is a bad word. I'm a full believer of selling is serving, so I'm right on the same page as you. But I'll often hear from my clients, they're not good at sales. They're afraid of sales, etc. So you're a sales trainer. What would you say to somebody who has those thoughts? Like, how do you turn around their mindset from selling is a bad word to embracing selling for all the reasons you've already outlined?
Beautiful. A great question. Really what that comes down to, and you hit the nail on the head, it's mindset. So everybody knows how to share something. Like if they went to a great dinner, a great restaurant, saw a great movie, they have detailed information about that particular experience, and then they're able to share that enthusiastically because they liked it. So when you like and love what you sell and you know about what you're selling, you can more enthusiastically share it. And when I work with Fortune 100 companies and entrepreneurs, I tell them, when you share and not sell, when you share about what the product is, when you share what it can do for you, when you can share what the results are and the benefits, it gives the sales professional a completely different mindset, coming from the mindset of sharing as opposed to I need to make a deal or close a deal.
Yeah. Well, and I always say to my clients, not only is selling serving, but it's all about them. And so I have this goofy little thing that's not really statistically, maybe not factual, but I always tell my clients the percentage. So if I'm trying to sell you this pen, right, mm-hmm. the percentage of time that I'm talking versus the percentage of time that you're talking is my percentage of getting the sale. So I'm going to ask you, hey, have you ever seen a pen like this? And I'm going to ask you questions. And the percentage of time you're talking equals my percentage of chance of getting the sale. So if you're talking 90% of the time, then I have a 90% chance of making the sale. And like I said, that's maybe not statistically accurate, but it just gets people out of their own head and into like, I want to talk more. I want to learn more about you. It's not about me. It's about you. And I love that. And I hear that in a lot of my clients. And so you've talked about mindset, and that's close to my heart in this podcast. So talk about not only from a sales perspective, but from an entrepreneurial perspective. What are your thoughts on what do you need? What does it take to be a successful entrepreneur? What's it take to be a successful salesperson? Because that's a big part of being an entrepreneur. Whether you're hiring a sales force or not, you've got to be involved in all of that.
Yeah, I think the mindset to be successful as an entrepreneur or businessman, businesswoman is really being able to humble yourself, to look for other people that have the success that you want, and being able to ask them and even pay them, how did you get there? What did you do? This is what I want. This is how I'd like to get there. I see that you have that. So you have to be a humble person and be able to reach out beyond yourself, take your experience, all your amazing experience, and you're going to add that with someone that already has the success that you want. The other huge aspect of it is not being afraid to fail, not being afraid to make any mistakes, knowing that life isn't scripted, knowing that life isn't going to be this perfect tee up of anything. Sometimes it happens, right? But it's really about being able to be resilient in the process of success, that success is a lifelong journey. So you have to be able to allow yourself to course correct as you go along and laugh at some mistakes and say, well, I blew that one.
Yeah.
Blew that deal. And it's like, okay, let me just dust myself off and, get back to it. And having a work ethic is super important too.
And I agree. I think that the more you fail, the more successful oftentimes you end up being, because failure is just a way to learn a new skill. In fact, I did a podcast last week, or an interview with Aaron Young, and he talked about sometimes the bigger the challenge is, the better you become, right? Because it really forces you to go to that next level. And I think we all need them. And so can you share with us one of your experiences where you things didn't perhaps work out the way you wanted them to begin with, but then what you learned up from it and how it might have affected you or changed you?
Yeah, I think it's always the mentor process. I'm constantly looking for mentors to take myself to that next level. And I have conservatively spent easily about $80,000 in personal and professional development. And some of the training programs that I bought, were not what it was not the weight in gold that I thought it was. Right. So, I look at that like, it's a good learning experience. I did get something from it, but not my, the tens of thousands of dollars in some of the programs I put into. But I think that's all part of the learning experience. You're going to invest money. I think that the best thing is to invest money in yourself. You have to invest money in yourself, and you have to continuously invest money in yourself and your business to make sure that there's a good ROI.
Yeah. Yeah. So talk about the role that mentors, coaches, and other entrepreneurial colleagues have played in your success? Because we all rely on, well, hopefully you're smart enough to invest in yourself, as clearly you have, and you get that through mentors and coaches. But for me, I've done that as well. But a lot of what keeps me going, especially in some of these challenging times that we have, is other entrepreneurs and relying on them. So talk a little bit about how it takes a community.
Yeah, it definitely takes a community, but it really takes, it's not just about a community. It's really about who you choose to surround yourself with. So you want to surround yourself with obviously other entrepreneurs for community and support, but then you want to surround yourself with the successful entrepreneurs, and not that the other entrepreneurs that you may hang around or I may hang around with aren't phenomenal or not successful in different ways. But again, going back to what is that level of success that you want? And you have to expand your network and expand your circle and infuse yourself into circles where you might not be the most successful person there. And that's the circles you want to be in.
Yeah.
So that would be my humble advice on the community that you want. You want to have people that are above you, more successful, people that are right at your level, and also people that are not at your level, that are maybe below, that you can help. So it's a nice circle there of below, mid, and above.
Yeah, and I would also say, be bold and get out there and interact with people that you think, oh, that person would never want to be on my podcast, or that person would never really want to talk to me about how to be successful. I mean, just be bold and get out there, because people really like to help, especially entrepreneurs like to help other entrepreneurs. So I hear a lot of fear that goes into people wanting to reach out to someone that they think is at a higher level, and they think, well, why would that person want to talk to me or work with me? And I think you just have to be bold. I mean, I didn't know you very well, and I'm in the middle of a Zoom call, and I'm like, you seem like, and you were doing this great presentation about sales and whatnot. And so I got a couple things from that. One was, I want him on my podcast, so I interrupted the darn Zoom meeting, and I said, hey, would you come on my podcast? And thank God you said yes. And then the other thing is the woman who was running that particular Zoom meeting, Susie, who's also been interviewed on the podcast. I found out that she was doing a book with you. And I'm like, well, heck, she's not going to do a book with him if she's not going to do a book with me. So I immediately got on and, said, hey, Susie, we got to talk about, let's do a book together. So I think you need to be bold and get out of your way and just ask, because what's the worst thing that can happen? That they say no, and okay, they said no.
Yeah, exactly. And I believe that's the other part of the mindset, is understanding that we do have to respect everybody and respect the success that they've achieved, and then also give success to the CEO the same way we give respect to the janitor.
Yeah.
But there's nothing to fear. They're just people.
That's right. My dad taught me that. He was a very high-level executive that sold to the presidents of oil companies like Texaco and Mobil and all of that. So we always had these really high-level dudes in our house. And I remember the day that the dog we had a little puppy, and she chewed a hole in one of the guy's suits because there was candy in there. And the guy, I'm sure it was a super, super expensive suit and all of that. And the guy was just super chill. And my dad was like, these guys are just like everybody else. Let's not put them up on a pedestal. I think that's a super great lesson for all of us, because you're right, they're just people. So is there anything that you're doing specifically different during the pandemic to deal with, or how's your business in the pandemic? Is there anything specifically you're doing different, or any advice you've had for people who might be seeing some negative effects from the pandemic and all that's going on right now?
Right. The main thing I can share with people is to be resourceful, take advantage of technology. And you're doing a great job of that. You're maximizing your Zoom videos, or you're putting them on Apple. I mean, you are maximizing. You are part of other Zoom groups. That's how you're able to get me on your podcast. So I would tell people that this is the time to break out of your comfort zone and do some video. And it doesn't have to be this Hollywood production. It could be something genuine, something real. and good content, and if you're worried about, oh, I don't like the way I look, or I don't know what to say, you have plenty to say, and grab 3 bullet points of something that you feel is important that maybe people would need to hear, or that they would need some type of positivity relating to your business, and share that. And it could be a 20-second video, and then at the end, how people can get a hold of you.
Yeah.
So just simple things like that, utilizing social media, being part of other social media groups, advertising, marketing that costs nothing, to be part of these different groups. So obviously you want to follow the rules,
Right. Absolutely.
But,
well,
yeah.
and Zoom has been amazing. I mean, I was on some Zoom calls before all of this happened, and now we're on a gazillion Zoom calls, and I'm actually surprised of how much business I'm actually getting from people that I'm meeting in Zoom breakout rooms. I mean, I hope that, I can't wait to get back to face, but I hope that there's a piece of this that continues, because your reach is so much further. And I can, I've coached people in 16 different countries, so I don't need to be face to do any of that. So just like you said, I love that. Get out there and embrace technology, because I think it's really important, especially when we're kind of stuck at home without being able to go do a lot of face-to-face things. So I know you've written a couple of books. Talk about them, what they are, and what got you into writing books, because I've written 5, so I'm a firm believer of books are important. So talk a little bit about the books you've written.
Cool. Wow, I didn't know you wrote 5 books. That's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's super awesome. So I
always have them right here, right? Is that what you do?
Nice. Yeah.
I'm sure you've got yours probably right next to you.
Yeah, I have 6 published books. One of them is on salesmanship. Another one's on for sales leaders. Another is on inspirational sales quotes. Another is on cold calling. 2 of them have become international bestsellers, and 4 of them are all bestsellers. And then the other 2 I was asked to participate in. One was in a professionals book of different professionals, a compilation book. And then the other one was like a word compilation book. So those have been phenomenal passion projects that I like just for myself, And I've also used those books as well to close deals, to get my foot in the door, to use them as a sales funnel to get in front of prospects and to, close deals. So that the books have been a phenomenal way of marketing, prospecting, cold calling, and it's super easy. I just tell people, just go to Amazon, type in Anthony Camacho right in the search bar, and you'll see my books pop right up.
Awesome.
So yeah, it's been phenomenal.
So talk a little bit more, or go into a little bit more detail of how you use your book as the top of your funnel. How do you use your book to get in front of more people? How do you use your book to grow your database? Tell me how people can actually utilize a book to really grow their business, because you've done it really effectively, and you've shared on another Zoom call that I was on some of that. So I'd love for you to just share a little bit of that with us.
Yeah, absolutely. So you want to incentivize people about your book. I mean, so I will ask people, if you leave an Amazon review for me, that I will give you a 20-minute, sales performance coaching call. And every time that I get one of those reviews, I'll actually post that on my social media. And I'll ask if I can post it on their social media. So every review that you get, you want to be able to post that on your social media, or multiple social media. I post it on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, and I also put a link so people can buy my book. And so I also have used it to get my foot in the door with Fortune 100 companies. I have been blessed to speak with decision makers and say, hey, look, I got a special promotion right now. If you buy my book for your 25 salespeople, I will come in and give you guys a 30 or 45-minute sales workshop. And so I'll use that approach, and I'll have everyone in the room, all the salespeople, the whole sales department, 25, 30 salespeople, hold up, the book. I'll take a picture of that and I'll post that also in my social media with links. And so it's really just about being top of mind, because if you're out of sight, you're out of mind. And you just need to share. Hey, I got my new book. Woo! And you just share it, and you have enthusiasm about it, and you just continuously share. I have a complete Facebook photo album just to all the multitude of Amazon reviews and pictures. And, I've used my book, and I've taken pictures in Australia when I did some sales training in Australia. And so the people out there had pictures with the book. I taught at University of Riverside, and had the students hold up my book with prospects and just having fun with it. So that's what I've been doing.
Oh, that's awesome. So do you have any advice for someone who's thinking about starting a business?
Yes. The resounding theme is talk to people who have the success that you want, and even offer to pay them. Even offer to pay them. Say, hey, I want to do X, Y, Z. How did you do it? Where did you start? Where were the roadblocks that you hit? What advice could you give me? And you might be surprised. Maybe somebody might say, don't worry about it. I'll give you some information. But I would make a list of challenge yourself. Make a list of 10 people that are successful in an endeavor that you want to pursue, and make that list and go after them. Maybe you'll get all 10, maybe you'll get 8, maybe you'll get 5, maybe you'll get 3. But if you don't ever seek outside yourself to be bigger and better, then you're always going to be where you're at,
Yeah.
And that's the humble advice I give.
I love that. Be bold and get out there. Do you have a favorite quote, and why?
I had on my business card for many years, by failing to prepare, you are preparing to fail.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. And I believe that one's by Benjamin Franklin, I think.
So say that again.
By failing to prepare, you are preparing to fail.
That's really good. I really like that. That's awesome.
I had that, and I had that on my card. So mainly for myself, I was like, what do I got to do to prepare? Because I don't want to fail, so, just little things like that, quotes. I love quotes.
Yeah, that's great. That's awesome. Any next big thing for you? Is there any big thing that's on your horizon?
Big thing on the horizon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Making some international deals. So I'm pretty good at sales and consulting. So I've had other people look for my expertise and input for some international deals where I get to broker and make a percentage. So that's the new big thing.
Oh, that sounds pretty exciting. Good luck with that. That sounds like fun. I mean, I love doing anything that's international. So that's really, really awesome. Talking about technology, is there any, other than Zoom and is there any specific technology that you have found that has helped you build your business, grow your business as an entrepreneur, your effectiveness, your just ability to go bigger? Is there any specific technology that you would recommend or that you've used that's helped?
I definitely would recommend using Zoom, right? Get familiar with Zoom and how you can give complimentary workshops. That's like your entry-level funnel. Give a complimentary workshop and then upsell them into maybe a medium, and then you can upsell to maybe a higher program.
Right.
So definitely you want to be, and in these times you want to be promoting and advertising a Zoom workshop at no cost.
Yep.
And have a good system to collect the prospect's information. So you want to build your database as much as possible so you have people to market to. So if you do not have a good growing database, essentially your business will fizzle out.
Right.
So
go into a little more detail, because I know you've talked about the need for names and email addresses or a database, and I personally feel like that doesn't get as much play as it needs to. When I talk to my clients, it's all about names and email addresses. Like, your database is your gold in your company. And I know you believe that too. So can you expand a little bit more on the importance of doing that?
Well, yeah, because sales is a numbers game. So if you don't have enough people to sell to, then eventually, and if your prospect list is dwindling down, again, you're not going to have that many to sell to, because everyone has their own closing ratio, right? So some people may close at 50%, some people may close 30%, 20%, 15%. It just depends on your selling skill. It depends on your product. It depends on your price point. So the more people you have to solicit to, the greater chance you're going to have to make a sale. And if you don't have that growing database using technology, you can do prospect capture through advertising on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and you can do that for free by you just doing it manually, the work, or you can actually hire a company to be able to monitor that. You also want to be able to invest in a company that can create funnels. You need, this is if you want to start spending some money, you want to have good ad copy, good copy on how to hook a customer psychologically to get them into your free workshops. And then what's the next step? Like I said, you're intermediate, but you also have to have really good copy of how to hook your prospects.
Well, and one of the things you mentioned in that Zoom call that we were in was going out to wherever your people are. For me, they're LinkedIn, because I'm selling to other business owners, but going and finding groups that your prospects are in and start to engage with those groups and get those people, talk to the leaders of those groups. And you had some really great ideas around that. Would you share those as well?
Yeah, just basically, look for the different groups that are part of your niche. Whatever your niche is, whatever your target market is, they are in Facebook. And if there are certain clients that you want to get after, an individual specifically, you can go into LinkedIn and type their name into the search bar and they will pop up.
Yeah.
LinkedIn
is a great way, and I've done a lot of that with groups within LinkedIn. And heck, if you feel like you don't have enough or can't find your niche, then create your own group and start it. I mean, don't just go and look for other people, but take the initiative and start it. I think is a good thing as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, you just want to get out there and you want to do things, you want to try things, and you can do it one or two ways. You can go out there and try things on your own and course correct. And again, reach out to people that know how to do it, that have been there, that done that. Ask people that know how to market on social media. Ask people that know how to write good copy to be able to do capture of prospects' information. And it's just really about evaluating where you're at and what do I need. Make a list. Where am I at? What do I need? How do I get it?
And if someone were so obviously you help people with sales. You're a sales trainer. How might someone work with you, or how would they? I mean, I get it. They can buy your books, and we'll put links to the books down below in the show notes. But how might someone work with you? How would you work with a client to help them with their business? Because I don't want to say just sales. You probably do more than just help them with their sales skills. So talk a little bit about how you help entrepreneurs grow their business.
Well, very, very simply, and I recommend that everybody does this, is you have to do a survey with whoever you're going to start working with. You have to understand what their current situation is, what their desired situation is, what their barrier is, what the payout and the reward that they're looking for, and then what are the long-term goals. So I believe this is sales 101. You really can't help anybody until you understand those things. What do they want? What are they looking for? Where are they getting stuck? What do they need? And then you align your product, program, or service with that gathered information. Mm-hmm. And going back to what you said, that you want to be getting the prospect to talk up 90% of the time And if you're only talking that 10%, you have a 90% chance of closing the deal. And really what that is, that's called fact finding, and being able to build the bridge between your product and what that consumer needs.
Yeah,
instead of guessing, what you can do to help them, you may be giving them the wrong information. You're wasting their time, and you're wasting their money, and essentially you're wasting your time as well. So if anyone would like to have a consultation with me, send me an email at hitman@camachocoaching.com, or message me through LinkedIn, or message me in Facebook, Anthony Camacho. And I would say, let's have a conversation. Where are you at? What do you want? And I may not be able to help you. And if I can, I'll direct you to somebody that I know that can. But if I can, I will.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's really good. So what do you want your legacy to be?
I want my legacy to be that that I helped a lot of sales professionals, entrepreneurs, and businesses. I want a legacy of, this is huge, but I would like a legacy that I can have recorded, that I've helped 1 million people, better their lives, better their sales, and that Anthony was a guy that did the best he could no matter what.
Yeah. Well, you're going to reach 1 million. You're going to be doing it online, because I don't see you. Hopefully you won't be touching 1 million people face to face.
Yeah, hopefully I won't. Yeah, I mean, times have changed, and definitely to be able to. So there's different ways to get in front of those crowds. So, I've been able to do seminars where I'm talking to 500, 700 people at a time. I've been able to do up to present day. I've calculated I have completed 700 workshops all across the United States, wow, all across Australia, and in Dubai. I've done 700 workshops, and each one of them ranging from as low as 5 to as many as 50. So I don't think it's nowhere near the 1 million mark yet, but I would say that I would use the medium of seminars, use the medium of workshops, use the medium of travel, mm-hmm, and obviously using Zoom calls and technology to get to that mark.
Yeah, it's interesting. I had never done this before the whole pandemic happened, and like you were saying, I was looking at how do I give back, and my skill set is helping entrepreneurs build their business in a very broad sense, which sales is a part of, but I don't focus on that entirely. But I went and did a 4-week online Zoom class, which I had never done before, and I just was like, I know the content backwards and forwards. I've been teaching it forever and coaching on it, but I was just like, I'm just going to go do a class, and I did, and it was really interesting, and it was scary because I'd never done that before, and I'm out there, and I got 20 people on there watching my podcast or whatever. I mean, my class, but then I recorded it all, and I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet, but that I'll turn it into some kind of a product that I'll sell. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you seem like a pro. I thought you've been doing this for years.
Podcasting?
Yeah.
Oh no, I started in January. So.
Oh my God! Wow. Again, you are that bold, courageous person. And look at it. It looks like you've been doing this literally, like you've been doing this for years. Your website that has all the information about the podcast of Zoom, is that new too?
No, I've had the website for a while. I just turned my blog, which I had a blog for years, mm-hmm, now I post the podcast instead of posting the blog. But no, and you know why? It's so, well, first of all, I never expected to love this as much as I did. I do. And it's all because of people like you. It's all because I get to spend my, half an hour or whatever just getting to know new people and getting to know better people that I've known for a long time. Because, I mean, I interviewed one person who I've known for, I don't know, I've known him since 9/11, so however many years that is. Mm-hmm. And I spent hours, and we used to do 100-mile bike rides all the time. So, I mean, I've spent a lot of time with this guy. And even doing a podcast, I learned something that I didn't know about him. So it's been really, really great. So thank you. So any final words for somebody who, maybe I'll go to the direction of, if someone's interested in working with you or interested in finding out more about how they can better their sales skills, where would you send them to, and what would you direct them to do? And maybe it's sign up for a 20-minute consultation with you, but where would you like our listeners to go to better hone their sales skills using your brilliance to do so?
Well, I'm open to, if anyone wants to send me an email, it's hitman@camachocoaching.com. I highly recommend buying the books on Amazon. Just go into the search engine of Amazon, type in Anthony Camacho. That is probably the most economic way to get started, to kind of get to know my mindset around selling, for sales and sales leadership. And if that really, really speaks to you and you want more, then yeah, I would definitely just reach out via email, hitman@camachocoaching.com. And then you can reach out to me on Facebook, Anthony Camacho, Instagram, Anthony_Camacho, LinkedIn, Anthony Camacho, and we can connect there.
Awesome. We'll get links to all of that below in the show notes. So if you're listening to this, look below and you can find that. What was I going to ask you? It must be the heat, because I'm like, I have this great idea and then it like flies out of my head. So I don't know exactly what that is. So any other final words for us as you talk? I'm sure my bright idea will come back. Okay. Now I know what it was, because
okay, cool.
Because you're Hitman. How did you get the name Hitman?
I got the name Hitman because hitmen don't make appointments; they just show up at your doorstep. And I got the name Hitman from a company I was consulting with in my 20s to my early 20s to early 30s, with the company for about 10 years. I had the highest closing ratio of bringing new business to the deal, to the company, and the highest closing ratio of bringing new products to existing customers. And I was just bold and fearless and just had fun. Really, it's about just having fun and making friends. And I just went out there and said, how can I have some fun? How can I make some friends? And in the process, I was able to make money through cold calling. So I don't send an email or do a phone call till I've met you at least 3 times. And then I can follow up with an email. And then from the email and the phone call, I come back again in person and meet you again, and then start making some appointments from there. I've been doing that, close to 20 years, and I've helped companies make millions and millions of dollars in sales and residual income off of closing these deals, from building that rapport and getting that face-to-face, connection.
So that's interesting. The rapport building connection from the hitman who doesn't, who knocks on your door and so I like that.
Doesn't make phone calls, because if you're out of sight, you're out of mind. You know.
I agree.
And the majority of salespeople that are out there are going to give up. They're not going to follow up. They're going to go visit someone maybe once or twice. And I play a long game, which is you're going to see me frequently, but strategically, to where it's not pesky, but it's very strategic. And then you start to build a rapport and a familiarity and a likeness. And it's like, why am I not doing business with Anthony Camacho?
Yeah.
I see him all the time. I see him more than I see the guy I'm doing business with.
Right.
And
he provides good content, because at the end of the day, I mean, you're not harassing, you're providing people good quality content that they can utilize. And to me, that's the rapport building right there. I mean, you're in front of them, but you're giving them good content that they can use to actually grow their business. And then they start, and I've had a lot of people actually during this, because I've been out there a little bit more during the last, 5 months or however long it's been, who are saying, I knew you were around, but now you're around a lot more. I really need to look at what you do. And then eventually they're one of my clients. And so persistence really does matter.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've had a lot of fun doing my multi-day seminars. And the multi-day seminars isn't just me blabbing up there and talking. It's extremely interactive. I teach the way I like to learn. which is very interactive and participatory. And I give all my participants an actual workbook that we actually use for 2 days, where we put down all the things that you want to achieve. And that's the gold, is because you're not just going and listening to somebody, and you're actually walking away with like a real blueprint to your success. And we use that to go back to their places of business and continue to consult with them. So when they leave the 2-day seminar, they can go on their own. They have enough information that they can run on their own. But if they want my additional help to make sure that to see it through, then that's when I come in and do in-house training,
that's
more
great.
Consistently. Yeah.
Excellent. That's awesome.
And I get a lot of fun with that too.
Are you doing I was going to say in person, are you doing seminars now virtually, or is that something that's on hold until we get back to face-to-face type meetings?
I really enjoy doing things live.
Yeah,
and
of course we all do.
Yeah, I know, right? I mean, I've had some great venues. I've done venues. My 2-day seminars have been at the Wynn in Las Vegas, have been at the Aria in Las Vegas. I've been at Pelican Hill, Newport Beach, at the Langham Hotel in Pasadena, which used to be the old Ritz-Carlton. So I really like ambiance. I like to take my clients out of their normal business and put them into a different world and give them some ambiance. So no, I haven't done too much with the Zoom as far as seminars, because they're really long. So I don't know if I could do a 2-day seminar online.
Yeah,
So,
I don't know if I could sit through a 2-day seminar.
Yeah,
online.
exactly. Like that, and I'm a big, huge believer, and I teach the way I like to learn. I'm thinking like, there's no way I could sit there for. I mean, some people can, but I'm thinking like I can't sit anywhere for 2 days.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I'm with you
So
on that.
that's why I haven't done that. So I'm still going into a couple of places of business where I'm doing consulting and training for the sales staff, the sales leaders, and even some of the upper management.
Awesome.
So that's what's been really fun.
Awesome. All right, Anthony, thank you so much for spending a little bit of time with us this afternoon. I really appreciate you. You're awesome.
Thank you too, Janet. It's an honor to be on your show.
Oh, you're so sweet. I really appreciate it. I'm sure I'll see you in some of these Zoom calls as we go forward.
For sure. And looking forward to seeing you in person one day.
Yeah, that would be really great, wouldn't it?
The Hitman's
It'll
looking
happen.
for you.
It'll happen. All right, Anthony, thanks so much. Have a great afternoon.
All right, you too. Thank you.
All right,
Bye-bye.
thanks. Thank you for listening to The Breakaway Entrepreneur with Janet Fish. If you liked our show and want more, check us out at www.breakawayentrepreneur.com. If you have any questions, please email me at coach@breakawaybusinesscoaching.com. I'll answer your questions in an upcoming podcast. If you're enjoying our podcast, please share it with your friends and colleagues. I hope you'll join us next week.